this is looking to be a very explosive fight. One that you definitely don't want to miss out on.
So what would the result be?
The prediction is will not last 12 rounds, I think.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely.
At a fiery and unforgettable press conference for his upcoming bout, boxing legend Manny Pacquiao shook the room with a chilling message aimed directly at his opponent, Mario Barrios, the 8-division world champion, renowned for his lightning fast, speed, and quiet humility, cast aside his usual calm and delivered a fierce warning under the glare of flashing cameras. As tension thickened in the air, Pacquiao made one thing unmistakably clear. This fight is far more than business. It's deeply personal. If Barrios believed he was stepping into the ring with a fading icon, Pacquiao's intensity just shattered that illusion.
Okay, how's it going?
All right, good. Everything's good.
All right, so
Good, man.
for a long time we talked about Manny Pacquiao coming back to us, and for a long time we talked about him fighting. Now it's real, it's happening. Him and Mario Barrios, break it down.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight.
WBC champ.
Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. It's like a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
It would shock the world, but he wins at his age, yeah, but it's not, listen, he's 45, 46.
Are you leaving jail?
45, 46, but he's always active. So he's always staying active, he's always doing something, mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport, something cardio, so no, not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, I'm not surprised. So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised, that he's supposed to win?
Different Diaz, I like Diaz.
Manny Pacquiao's return to the boxing ring after a 4-year hiatus has sparked major excitement, especially after his explosive press conference, where he delivered a stern warning to WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. The 46-year-old boxing icon, celebrated for his unmatched speed and punching power, is set to face the 29-year-old Barrios on July 19, 2025, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
It's a very contentious subject, like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Ben maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why we pushed the Conor Ben fight. Conor Ben, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually, Pacquiao is a step up, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Ben is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Pacquiao has resumed training under the watchful eye of his longtime coach, Freddie Roach. Despite concerns surrounding his age and extended absence from professional boxing, the legendary fighter has already shown flashes of his old form during training sessions. Still, some fans and boxing analysts remain skeptical about whether he can truly compete at the sport's highest level after such a long layoff. Recent footage from Los Angeles shows Manny Pacquiao speaking with the calm determination of a man ready to take on any challenge. He reflected on the responsibility of being a role model and the value of learning from past defeats. Though serious, in tone, his message remained hopeful, and physically he looked sharp and focused. Training sessions reveal him hitting pads with impressive speed, moving fluidly, and attacking each drill with the intensity of a younger fighter driven by the hunger for redemption. However, the decision to sanction the fight has not come without controversy. Critics argue that Pacquiao's age and extended period of inactivity should have disqualified him from receiving a title shot. The WBC's decision to rank Pacquiao at number 5 in the welterweight division has raised eyebrows, with many questioning the legitimacy of the ranking and expressing concern about the potential risks involved in the matchup.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a shock return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's, that guy's my hero, you know, I named my dog after him and stuff like that, you know, so, but he's touching 50 years old. I think, you know, he should leave it where it is, you know, but, you know, obviously if you get a chance to share a ring with Manny Pacquiao, nobody's going to say no, you know.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back when voicing his opinion on Manny Pacquiao's surprising comeback fight against Mario Barrios. Speaking candidly, Hackett admitted that if this matchup had happened years ago, Pacquiao would have easily dismantled Barrios. But times have changed. According to Hackett, the current version of Pacquiao is a shadow of the explosive, dynamic force who once ruled the sport. Now 45, the Filipino legend can't be expected to display the same speed, stamina, or ruthless precision that defined his prime. Hackett dismissed the bout as more of a money grab than a true showdown between elite fighters at their peak, calling it a spectacle rather than a battle between equals.
Hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like on. Yeah. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang. So, I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans are going to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Manny Pacquiao has a diehard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boots, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but he want to steal as much as he can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So you want to make some money and you want to do great things.
Former champion Tim Bradley expressed similar concerns, suggesting that Pacquiao's comeback is driven more by financial motives than a pursuit of boxing glory. In Bradley's view, when a fighter comes out of retirement, it often signals a need for a payday. While the WBC title may technically be on the line, he believes the real motivation lies in the money. Bradley pointed out that Mario Barrios, as a younger and active contender, is being positioned as the fresh face meant to push Pacquiao to his limits. He even suggested that Barrios has the youth, momentum, and skill to potentially finish Pacquiao, raising serious questions about whether the boxing legend should be stepping back into the ring at all.
Getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. That Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
On the other hand, Oscar de la Hoya has voiced strong support for Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring, expressing confidence in the legendary fighter despite his age. While acknowledging that Pacquiao is now in his mid-40s, de la Hoya believes the Filipino icon still possesses the heart, determination, and skill to go toe-to-toe with younger challengers like Mario Barrios. He praised Pacquiao's remarkable career and emphasized that a fighter with such extensive experience should never be underestimated. For De La Hoya, the focus isn't on Pacquiao's age. It's on what he still brings to the ring.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him. Can he do it?
Quadra? Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs.
He's a legend,
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Despite the skepticism surrounding the matchup, Mario Barrios remains calm and confident. Speaking ahead of the fight, Barrios expressed respect for Pacquiao but made it clear he's not intimidated. He plans to stay disciplined, relying on his youth, reach, and relentless pressure to control the bout. For Barrios, this isn't just another payday. It's the biggest opportunity of his career and a chance to add a legendary name to his resume.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just showed you that, he is a great fighter, but I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has voiced skepticism about Mario Barrios' perceived size advantage in his upcoming bout against Manny Pacquiao. While Barrios is taller and has a longer reach, Atlas questions whether this truly gives him an edge, pointing out that Barrios only recently moved up to the welterweight division after previously fighting at lighter weights. Barrios himself admitted that making the 140-pound limit had become increasingly difficult, which prompted his transition to welterweight. Despite his physical dimensions, Atlas believes Barrios' size may not translate into a meaningful advantage once they're in the ring. This perspective suggests the matchup could be more evenly balanced than many expect, potentially setting the stage for a competitive clash between the seasoned Pacquiao and the younger Barrios. The announcement of Pacquiao's return has already sent shockwaves through the boxing world, with fans still processing the news following his 2021 retirement and years of inactivity.
Naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course, we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God, I don't even know when he first turned pro. You would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean he was
108 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. You know, look what he did to this horse. You know, but look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people, one of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from like whatever. Incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, you know, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit, than when Pacquiao fought him, and maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight.
Mauricio Sulaiman, president of the WBC, confirmed that all necessary approvals have been granted to allow Manny Pacquiao to compete for the welterweight title. However, speculation is mounting that the fight against Mario Barrios is just the beginning of a larger plan. Rumors are swirling that if Pacquiao defeats Barrios, it could set the stage for a massive showdown with Gervonta Tank. Davis fans and analysts alike are questioning whether Barrios was chosen as a more favorable matchup, giving Pacquiao the opportunity to regain momentum and build hype for what could be his final blockbuster bout. The prevailing belief is that this fight may not represent the ultimate test for Pacquiao, but rather a calculated step toward a high-profile, potentially career-defining clash with Davis.
WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, who's the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
If Pacquiao defeats Barrios, a showdown with Gervonta Davis could become one of the most eagerly anticipated fights in recent memory. 2 explosive southpaws, each with massive fan bases, going head-to-head would capture global attention. Pacquiao's return carries a strong sense of nostalgia. He's chasing the same WBC title that launched his rise to international stardom years ago. Back then, he won his first world championship at flyweight. Now, he aims to close out his career as the WBC welterweight champion. It's a full-circle moment that goes far beyond simply chasing another belt. For Pacquiao, this fight feels deeply personal. It's not just about cementing his legacy, It's about reconnecting with where it all began. His motivation for this comeback appears to be driven as much by emotion and reflection as by the desire to compete.
Boxing Doctor News told Onto Your Gloves, boxing fans, the rumors are true. Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring. At 46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker. Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. Will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? Get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of your seat.
Fans and commentators are drawing comparisons between Manny Pacquiao and George Foreman, who famously reclaimed a world title at age 46. While such a feat is rare in boxing history, it's not impossible. Many believe that if Foreman could accomplish it, Pacquiao, with his relentless energy and legendary status, might have what it takes to do the same. The fight has come to symbolize a powerful narrative of defying age and surpassing expectations.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. You know, Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo, first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. You know, I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. You know, if there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. You know, Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback has sparked renewed excitement and debate in the boxing world. At 46, Pacquiao is returning to the ring after a 4-year break, aiming to reclaim the title that launched his legendary career. This matchup not only contrasts Pacquiao's vast experience with Barrios' youthful energy, but also brings into focus questions about legacy, motivation, and the evolving nature of the sport itself.
A lot of people are asking what's going on. Are the rumors true? Is it possibly Spence? Is it Pacquiao? Who is Mario Barrios sharing the ring with next?
You know what? He's put himself in a great position through hard work. You know, he's a tremendous story when he turned pro and what he's been able to accomplish being a 2-time world champion. And I always told everybody, you know, he fights all comers. You know, when we fought Gervonta Davis, all my hats off to Gervonta Davis. You know, but it was very difficult for us to make the weight. We were going to move up in weight. They presented us, you know, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll bite down for it one more time. And then from there, you know, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-ups, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Batirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's, you know, Pacquiao, Spence, if that's a unification with Boots, Ennis.
Do you think Pacquiao's confidence will carry him to victory, or is Barrios ready to successfully defend his title? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.